You have Medea.
Medea, the gorgeous Medea.
Thank you. Hi.
Sexy travesty.
Oh, sweet lips.
And the cute dimples.
Thank you.
That's how I describe you guys at the moment, actually, to be fair.
Coming in.
So how's it going, man? So I'm chewing bubblegum. I'm going to spit it out. Hold on. Hello? Are you guys there?
Hello, we're here. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Anyone want to start? Anyone can start. I'm going to just try and find some paper to spit this chewing gum out.
Well, I'm very interested in the things that Boris is putting in place. I want to know your opinion. Do you think what he's putting in place is logical and safe?
Oh, we're jumping straight in, okay.
Yeah, go ahead. It's all to do with COVID at the moment.
Well, I think it's on my head, you guys.
Yeah, tomorrow it's compulsory in the UK for us to wear the masks.
Yeah.
And the other things that he's been putting in place, I want you to know your opinion. Do you think it's logical what he's putting in place, and do you think it's safe? If COVID really exists the way they say it is?
I think he's been put under pressure, like from the business people and that sector. So that's why I feel like it's nonsensical. Like, well, why are the pubs open but the theatres are closed? That's my point. Yeah. I think it's that pressure from the people that would be more, let's say, forceful in their approach, putting it euphemistically. I think that's why it's all over the place, the approach.
It's really bad. It's really, really bad. I mean, go on, Travesty.
No, carry on.
I was going to say, you're saying that it's compulsory to wear masks in shops and whatever from tomorrow. It's compulsory. And I'm sitting there saying, well, COVID's been around for how many months? Was it on holiday recently? Why, they've only just decided that masks are compulsory. I mean, why all of a sudden now?
It's funny hearing you guys because we've had masks since April.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We're only like 3 months into it, and like it's kind of normal now. We're just walking around. We always know when we go into a shop, we have to put the mask on. But actually, I heard that in Spain, you have to walk around with the masks even when you're outside. Like 100% of the time, you have to have that mask on. So as you leave your house, you got to put a mask on. That's what it's like in Spain because they've had
I couldn't deal with that.
That's crazy.
But then explain to me, as somebody mentioned it last week, how come, right? The Muslim women are wearing the burqas, they've been wearing masks forever. So really, they've been wearing, and they're still getting these illnesses. I mean, are these masks really going to help? Are they really going to help? No, but they've been wearing face coverings from day one.
You know what I think it is? It's like if you know the Japanese and the Chinese people, they practice wearing masks anyway, but they say it's to protect the people from their bacteria. You know what I mean? So if they're sick, they'll put a mask on. That's just standard procedure in these countries. So that's what we're probably trying to learn too. We're learning that if someone's got a cold and they go out, instead of sneezing, because a lot of people are filthy,
They are.
No courtesy or manners. And just sneeze all over into the public. I know guys I've worked with, like we're in an enclosed space, and the guy just sneezes, and I'm like, dude, cover your mouth, man.
Yeah.
So I mean that how, and people got bad breath, man.
That's a good one.
I think it's psychological why they've done the mask here now at this late stage, because otherwise it probably would have just been left, wouldn't it? But for some people, and then thinking about how fearful people have become, I think that's why it's become the case, because essentially, like you say, it does help with bacteria, and that's how it's been in certain countries that have already had lots of respiratory outbreaks, let's say. But I do think that it's become a psychological thing here, that lots of the older public that are the ones that will pay into the economy as well are the ones that are there saying, well, why aren't we wearing the masks? And I feel like I've seen a lot of older people wearing them, like they've just started doing it already, like before the date, obviously, of tomorrow. When you do it they're sat in their cars wearing them, and I'm just like, what's the
I
point?
think that's really ridiculous. They're in the car
Yeah.
driving with a mask on. I see it and I think, well, what do you think you're inhaling in your own car? I don't know. I don't know.
I'm sure it's illegal to drive around in masks. I'm sure it's illegal. Well, then again, maybe not in England, because when they take the cameras, I mean, they give you the picture when they flash you. That's the word. I want to say the German word for some reason. They take the picture of you in it, but they don't do that in England. They take the back picture, so it doesn't really matter.
But
you
you know
that front photo as well. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? It's not me. Look, that's not me.
Exactly. You're going to benefit from these masks.
I can't see behind the mask. And you can go into the banks and everything, you know. If you got like shades on and you go with the mask and you go into the bank, and it just feels really weird, you know, because yesterday they would have like thrown you out, but today you're allowed to go in there. And you even have signs, you know, don't come in to the bank with a helmet on or something. But now you can. You can go with a helmet. So
it's crazy, isn't it?
I think
it's going to start a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
definitely.
I agree.
Well, on the news, they said that they've took this stance to encourage people to obviously come back onto the high street. But I don't think that will actually happen. I think a lot of people don't want to wear masks. So they'll find different ways of obviously shopping and getting their food shopping also. You don't need to leave your house anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Only to go to work. And who wants to wear a mask and line up? It's becoming too regimental.
Yeah, it is. I think people are going to start rebelling regardless, because
this is crazy.
What's the latest? Yeah, what is the latest on COVID? Is it still rising? Is it at a standstill?
They're saying that there's been no cases. There's been no cases in the last 2 days. But really, come on. And then
2 days?
We're right there. On the next Central News, they were saying, was it Smethwick? Somewhere was testing 45 people. I was thinking, so what about them then? Positive? Yeah. I'm like, you're taking the pee? Come on.
I don't know.
You're contradicting.
What information out there is actually correct anymore.
It's too contradictory.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem right.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem right. And it's wearing thin.
It is.
And I think people are just going to ignore the government soon. In this country, I think they will ignore it. I mean, in America, how is it going? Does anyone know how it's going in America? Is everyone wearing masks? What's happening there?
I think Trump did a press conference and tried to encourage everybody to wear a mask now, because he's like kind of finally given in and said it's going to probably get worse before it gets better. You know.
Yeah.
End up worse in what way? You mean the shooting or the COVID? Really, I don't know which one. You know what I mean? Because this COVID really, really isn't as serious as they're making it out. I'm afraid it really isn't.
No, because we're the lucky ones.
Well, who's the unlucky ones? Because I've spoken to several people, and they're still saying they still don't know people who've really had COVID.
I mean, the numbers are still very small. You know, it's not. You know, it's. Let me see. I'm going to pull up the numbers now. Like in America, it's almost 4 million. Worldwide, it's like 40 million. If you look at that compared to in comparison to the population, 40 million is not that many people. You know, we're talking billions in compared to 40 million.
Okay.
So it's still quite small. So, and that's over the world as well. Like that could just be in Pakistan, India, and you wouldn't even touch anybody really. You know.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I think there's another agenda behind it, basically.
I think there is. But it's going to backfire, because people wearing masks, as you say, they'll be able to do more crimes, get away with a lot more. You know, you're not going to be able to identify people with masks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to say, because how are you going to get, I don't know, if you've got, say, 3 or 4 18, 20-year-olds that work in a Sunday in a shop, how are they going to enforce it if someone comes in and says, oh, well, asthmatic, I've got some kind of, lung pre-existing health condition that says I don't have to wear a mask? They're not going to enforce them, question them. Or even if you have like 50-year-olds there, how are they going to, what they're going to say, prove it, go and get your medical notes?
Yeah, I was thinking,
is it enforceable?
I was going to say, making the people like bring around, obviously, a certificate that says that you don't have to wear a mask. I think that's what they do in Germany, at least. If you're one of the endangered people, then you have to have a certificate that says from a doctor, I don't have to wear a mask. Basically, I'm exempt from wearing a mask.
But who wouldn't say I've left it at home? That's my.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think. Like here, I can only speak from here, but because I think in England, England's more relaxed than Germany. Like if we're talking about here, a lot of people are kind of like, yeah, okay, we understand, and they let you off. In England, they're way more relaxed, so they're just like, yeah, whatever, carry on. You know?
Yeah, don't think so.
Don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I think a lot of like shops are gonna get abused because not everybody follows the rules, and they're gonna want to do what they're gonna want to do. And obviously, there's people protesting against these masks in America, and I don't know if they're doing it over here, but they probably are. Most likely. So you're going to get those people wanting to do and go in the shops just same way, mixing and blending. And you know what I mean? They're just going to abuse these people who are just trying to do their jobs at the end of the day, following instructions. But what can you do? I'm sure you'll hear about it in the next couple of days on the news. Definitely.
Well, yeah, and I think that those people would then protest, the poor shop workers that probably still aren't getting any extra pay, no hazard pay, no any enhancements at all. They're the ones that I hope will be protesting to say, no, we shouldn't have to do this and be some kind of community police when they're supposed to be selling groceries and products.
Actually, if you guys are smart, I swear, open a restaurant right now. I swear to God, open it. I went to a restaurant the other day, and they made, no lie, just on cash payments, over 60 grand for 1 week. 60 grand selling like pizzas. And I was like, what's going on? I was like, look, no one's got anything else to do, so they're all coming and just eating at the restaurant. So people are making a killing. Yeah, I swear they're making a killing now. So if you've got money now, go and open the restaurant this week, and trust me, in about 2-3 weeks, you'll be thanking me like, man, we're making such business at the moment. Really? That's it. and the clubs,
I can believe it.
Yeah, the club's not going to open soon either. The clubs are going to be closed. Any events like big mass gatherings, they're all shut down for a while, probably till next summer or something.
Yeah.
So
I don't know because Boris has announced that large concerts will be allowed to take place from October.
It won't.
And beautician, bowling, skating rings, casinos can resume in August. Wedding receptions of up to 30 people will also be allowed from the 1st of August. Well, don't have your wedding this year then.
Wait there.
If you can only have 30 people there, don't have your wedding this year.
Wait, that could be a bonus. You could get rid of the unwanted relatives. That would be awesome.
Yeah. That's a positive. They're definitely saying nightclubs and soft play areas need to be kept closed. But that doesn't make sense if you're going to let large concerts take place.
It's true, isn't it? It's true.
To me, I don't see the logic. That's why I'm asking, is it logical? It doesn't make sense.
Mm.
As you said, Dimples, it's all over the place. He's getting pressure and it doesn't make no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. Not at all.
I think if he wins the next election, I'll be very surprised. But then again, you've got those people who say, oh, he did a very good job.
Yeah, that's why he's brought it in now, because obviously he's got to be seen to be doing something.
Yeah.
Because he's done everything chose to do at what time he's chose to do it. He's done it much too late.
Exactly. It's just ridiculous.
So
it's ridiculous. But as you say, we'll watch this space.
Yeah, definitely.
Watch this space. Yeah. So, which leads on to, I shall carry on since I'm taking control this today.
Oh, great.
Which leads on to one which Pudding did ask about, and I think we'd like to have your opinions on it. Do you think it's required to tip those who provide a service knowing they already are getting an income, i.e. taxmen, women, taxmen or women, bar staff and waitresses? Do you believe they should get tips?
I mean, taxi. Actually, I'm kind of supportive of tips. I'm a supporter of that. I think it's not too bad because I think it's like common courtesy, isn't it, really? Because you don't see actually what these guys are earning. And even if they're making £1 million, if I give them £1, whatever it is, 10% of the menu, I mean, it's not really that much money, is it, to be fair?
Well, I have a different look on that. I think it depends on the service. It depends on the individual. Because you have some very rude waitresses, you have some very rude taxi drivers, you have some very rude bar staff. So I think it depends on who's serving you at the time.
Yeah.
And I just want to mention that when Medea goes out, she never pays. So
she's
never
talking about. No,
So
I
she
wouldn't
doesn't
pay
know
and I
about
wouldn't tip.
tipping.
I
She
wouldn't
doesn't
be
know how
tipping.
much
I wouldn't
to
be
get
paying.
tipped or who to tip. She sits back. She comes in, eats, and then sits back.
That's
So
right, yeah.
Daya doesn't know. But yeah, I believe that you should tip if you've received good service, definitely. Just to say thanks. But I prefer if it goes directly to the person who's done the work
Exactly.
rather than the whole team. But even though, to be fair, the whole team has contributed to me getting that meal and getting that service. So yeah, I don't mind. You know, it's never. I'll never do like a £5. That's too much money. What the hell?
Well, I
think
have a bugbear about this because the people in America say 10%, and it's almost like you're the scum of the earth if you don't contribute that. But to me, it's kind of like if you felt that and you wanted to, not just for that kind of service, but for cleaners, for anyone that you feel they're doing a good job and they're making your life easier or giving you extra convenience and being extra friendly, then if you would want to, but I don't feel like we should be compelled to. It would be nice to find us.
I agree with that. Yeah,
I just think it's a bit. I don't know. There's just something that seems really
awkward, isn't it? It's awkward
because
when you get
place an expectancy on it.
Yeah.
And I had this thing on the radio the other day. There was this woman that she's done some. I'm not into this TikTok nonsense, but she keeps doing TikTok reviews because she did some VIP Hollywood star restaurant. But she was saying, I only give Kylie Jenner something like 3 out of 10 or whatever, a really low score because she paid something or she had a bill that was worth $500 and she just tipped $20 or something like that. It was a small proportion, less than 10%. But I thought, well, what say you that she has to then give you 10 or 20 or 50% just because she has the means and the funds? So she should give you, that should be expected, that she gives you and tosses away $100. Well, what about giving that more money to charity? Or why shouldn't she? Why should she give that money to a restaurant for people that are accruing good money? They've got somewhat of a difficult job, but they're not in need or in crisis. So why should she give her that money and not the charity or some other greater need?
I'm gonna say something. One time I was working at a hotel, so I was, and at one time a billionaire came in. He's a billionaire, and I drove his Lamborghini around, parked it away, and then I had to give him, I had to help him with his bags, so I took his bags up to his room, and I knew he was a billionaire. So I was like, you know who that is? I was like, who is it? Yeah, he's the owner from Volkswagen, the previous owner from Volkswagen. So I was like, whoa, he's got millions, or he's got billions. So I was like, I was thinking, I drove his car out. I'm gonna be sorted tonight. He took out €20 and gave me. I was like, yo, I was like, you got a billion. You could have given me an easy million. Wouldn't even bother you. Wouldn't scratch you. I'm not being greedy, but $1 million would have been like, yo, guys, I'll my car. Okay, let's go over the top. $1,000.
Expect nothing and you'll never be disappointed.
True. I'll tell you. I can beat that one. Travis, you remember when we was in Jamaica? And when we were leaving, and I gave him all my bags of coins. And what did the man say? Take it back. He gave me back because he said, that's nothing. He gave me back the money I gave him as a tip. He said, that's nothing.
Oh my God! Yeah, because he thinks you're the billionaire. In that case, you was the billionaire, but like that wasn't like you're not a billionaire. But I met a billionaire who could have easily gave me $1,000. I would have took $1,000. He gave me 20 easy bucks. $20. I could afford that myself.
Do you know what? Actually, I think that really, now you guys are saying that more, it points it and it articulates in my head. For me, it's the gratitude and the kind of...
see that? I'm grateful. Yeah. That's what they are. All right, then. For instance...
Should we then not have gratitude for actually even having a job? Because there's people out on the street that would just want their income. They wouldn't be there for the perks and the bonuses.
Exactly. So, Estelio, I asked you this question. What is the biggest tip you ever got at that job?
Hold on. 50.
Probably that. 50. Right, then. That's one person? Or is that with a group?
50 was one day I made €120.
Oh, then.
Just
Cool.
chilling there, just standing at the door and opening the door. People would just drop €50 because it was like a 5-star hotel, luxury. Just millionaires came there, Saudi Arabian sheiks and princes. I was like,
Really?
this is all right. But the people were horrible there, so I didn't want to stay. But yeah, some nights, if it was a good night, 100, 200.
No way. Smashing it.
It was nice.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the life as a hotel guy in it. Porter. Is it Porter? Well, I was in the Porter.
Yeah.
Like the security at the back who used to just have to drive the cars around and stuff.
Oh, look at you.
Nice job. Got to drive all the fancy. Look, I've driven some of the cars most people only dream about.
Yeah.
Lucky, but it wasn't anything special, to be fair. Because you have to get back into your banger at the end of the day.
But you know what? I don't mind that, just to have had the experience is good enough, because you know that in England you've got to pay for those experiences, like 80 quid an hour, and you only get to drive it up and down a circuit.
Yeah.
You get me? And it's hundreds. So to do that for a job and get paid and tips at the end, you're winning.
Yeah, I used to just drive a little bit further than I was supposed to. Yeah, just driving around. Look at me getting all the women, hey, look at my car. Like, where's your car? I left it in the garage with my own wheels.
Sorry for cutting in, but you know what? I take it back. I don't think people should be tipped. I think if you're getting your wages anyway, why should I tip you? You're paid to do a job. You're paid to do the best of that job that you've been given. So why should I give you extra money? No, sorry, no.
I think it's just part of the service industry, isn't it? That's what
it's a personal choice, though.
Yeah, it's it's a personal choice. I think I know people who relentlessly don't tip. They just say, I don't tip. No, I don't tip. Like me, I'm a tipper though. I tip everybody, I tip everybody. I don't care, but I know people who don't tip, or especially rich people don't like to tip. So I was lucky to get that for 20
That's why they're rich.
Yeah.
But you know what, folks?
Frugal.
But the negative side of tipping is the senior management. I think the cream, obviously, the tipping off the top. You know what I mean? Because you know that
did that.
Yeah.
They said it went into a pot for everyone. And
and you only get 20 quid.
An amount, and we'd be like, hold on, didn't that person on that table did that and that party tipped that? So we were thinking, no.
You get me? That's what I mean. So that's why I think not to tip, because I know that goes on frequently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I personally wouldn't tip. I don't see the point. You're getting paid anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
As you say, if they were getting it personally, the ones who were getting tipped, if they were allowed to keep it, that would be a different thing. But when you have to share it, as you say, and give it to the top dogs get the cream of the crop, no, thank you. I'm definitely.
You know what? Also, as well, if they gave obviously the waitresses and waiters a fair wage anyway, you wouldn't have to tip them.
Exactly, that's true.
You know what I mean? You shouldn't have to, because we don't get tipped at actually.
You do, you get your chocolates.
Well, joker. But anyway, yeah, there's that. But I was listening to another, obviously, podcast, my daily podcast I listen to. And they were talking about how many of the stores, obviously, going back to COVID again, have caused them to not be able to come back. Like, is it Chimichanga? They've had to close down.
And Harvey's.
Yeah, and they're saying it's because the shareholders squeeze so much out of the business that they every year they want to come back for more savings, so they obviously can give the shareholders more money at the top. So they buy a cheaper food, the customer experience goes down, they lose 10% of their staff to make savings, rubbish like that. And you can see that actually does happen, because over years I've been to certain restaurant chains and you can see the decline in their service, and you can see like at certain times you go in that just haven't got enough staff to do what's needed to keep everybody happy, where you're waiting up to 30 minutes for a drink and you're thinking, this is taking the liberties.
That's and then they want to tip. That's a normal day in Africa.
Yeah, and that's why you won't get a tip off me, because the service is like that. You're not going to get a tip off me because you haven't tried your best. You've forgotten about me because you haven't got your house in order.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I agree. No tipping.
No tipping. Sorry.
Only sometimes if I'm in a good mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, catch me on that.
Yeah. Make sure the food is nice. And if you give me a little extra on the side for free, you're definitely getting a tip. Definitely. Okay. Definitely getting a tip. Like if you bring me extra fries or something, and I go, yeah, guys, or you change something for me, and it's even better. And I'm like, yeah, you can get a tip.
Well done. No tip from me. Simple.
No, I'm going to stay a tipper, I think. Well, it depends. If the person's not very nice, then I'll won't tip. But if they're nice, I'll tip.
All right.
All right.
So no tipping.
So, wow, you're tipping? No, you're not
You
tip.
tip. What about you, Dimples? Are you tipping or you're not tipping? Dimples?
That means she's not tipping.
Yeah. Sorry, babies. Always. They're after tips, I think.
And the silence is deafening, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I think with good service, and if and when I want to, but for me, it would have to extend. It's not just in the restaurant because it's expected. It would have to be cleaners or good people that have done great things in all walks of life for me.
Oh, yes, I agree with those, yeah.
But as a matter of personal choice rather than a compulsion, or society says that. I'm not doing that.
Okay. Right, so there we have it.
Next topic.
This one's a favourite of mine. I'm sure we've all done it. Why do a lot of people stay in friendships where they are putting in more and are doing all the running, listening, and being there in general? Why do people stay in friendships like that when it seems to be almost one-sided?
I can tell you why. Because if you look at the average relationship, it's exactly the same.
Yeah, but friendships aren't the same as relationships.
It's the same because a friendship is just a relationship without the intimacy. Well, even with him, it's the same. And that's why a woman will often stay with a man, or a man will chase a woman until the woman says, okay, I don't want to be with you anymore. And it's the same with a friendship. I had this case recently, someone I know, and we're just chasing. I was like, look, just not into you, man. I mean, I know it's your friend, but it's not going to be the way it was back in the day. It's just not going to be the same. And I know people try and hold on to the past and just be like, I want that moment in time, you know, in the past. But it never. People move on, and that's what it is. Even in friendships, people move on.
Yeah.
But why do they stay in them for a long time? Because I had a friendship, and I'd known her 20 years plus, and it was only with my children waking me up that did I realise that it was very one-sided. Everything was about her. You know, she very rarely had consideration for me. I was like just someone, like an agony aunt, a mother, a sister, whatever, someone she just wanted to air her dirty linen to as well. And then it was my kids who would notice this and made me realise that this is a one-sided relationship. What does she ever do for you? When has she ever come to visit you? You're always visiting her. And I often question why I stood in that friendship so long. And it's not like, to me, it's not like a relationship of one where you lead to marriage. It's not the same thing. I think sometimes when you're lonely, and also sometimes when you're desperate for a friendship, you'll hang in there. I don't always think it's about like being in a marriage thing. I don't think it's the same. I think sometimes people do need friends. And when you're lonely, you'll hang on into friendships that are not worthwhile.
Yeah. And even making new friends is difficult, and that's what I think. So even like meeting a new partner, it's like, oh, I do have to go through that again and meet somebody and hope they get your hopes up that this is going to be the right guy or girl.
It's not the same, though. You don't go into a friendship thinking that. You go into a friendship thinking, are you compatible in the way that, do you have the same likes? Do you want to go to the same shows, the same clubs? Do you have the same interests? It's not whether we're going to make a life together and move in together and marry and whatnot. We don't think like that when it comes to friendships.
You know what?
That's why friendships are so more difficult.
But I also think that, you know, like it starts off like a relationship. Let's talk about a relationship with a man and a woman. You know. It starts off really exciting, everything's cool, and at some point...
No, friendships don't start off like that, I'm sorry.
I think friendships start the same.
They don't.
Cool and you're like, oh, and it's great. I like
it. Thompson, Dimple, when your friendship starts off with excitement and
I know I know what your excitement usually is. Can I borrow 20 quid? Yours?
No.
No,
Don't
you
think
know,
me.
remember
I
when you had
would
your
never,
friends?
never. No. Sorry,
No, wait there.
Sorry,
No.
no. I'm going to say this. I would never, ever go to a friend for money.
No,
Not
I'm
a
not
friend,
saying
no.
you fool. I'm not
Oh,
saying you bloody fool. That's
oh,
if you let me finish and stop cutting across. I would have told you. You're supposed to have got the joke.
sorry, go on.
I said your friendships usually end with, can you borrow me 20 quid?
Yeah. That's about it.
She hides, never to be seen again.
Yeah. I don't know. I think people
Yeah,
are.
go on.
I think it's always some people just want to hold on. Like I said, just want to hold on to something, and it's hard to, because breaking up a friendship is like breaking up a relationship. It's the same thing. You got to accept that you didn't live up to the standards or whatever, or the person just doesn't like it. And I think that's what it is. It's facing the reality that maybe someone doesn't find you as great as you think you are. It is like that, isn't it?
I
No,
would
I
agree
don't
with
think that.
actually.
I
And you
don't
have those
know.
times where you're trying to hang on, like when you've had friends that perhaps some situation threw you together, like being school moms together or something, and it's fizzling out, but then you're still trying to cling on. And should we meet? And then you have that awkward meetup. It does feel like a breakup.
It is a breakup.
You have to accept it or
But how
not.
many people actually cry over a breakup of a friendship? I never have.
I think you're stone cold. That's why. But I think a lot of people cry for that.
It's just that friendships are not that. They're not that deep. I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah, only because I think with a friendship, especially women in this case, they learn how to compartmentalize a friendship to a relationship. That's why they don't shed as much tears, because it doesn't seem to have this something. They somehow manage to be like men. We are with women. When men are with women, and then we're like, okay, well, I don't want to deal with you no more. We can walk away from that and be like, yeah, I don't care, I'm gone. And that's how women are with men. Women are with women. I don't want to deal with you anymore. So I don't shed a tear or anything. That's what I think it is, man. May have hit the nail on the head there. If I do say so myself. It's an epiphany.
Sweeping generalization about 3.5 billion people across the world.
Yeah.
This is how all you guys are.
Is that you guys are thinking? Change it.
Now, my concept on this is
okay, here we go.
that, yes, listen up. It's not about hanging into the friendship, like hanging in to a friendship that you think may have ended. Because a friendship only truly ends if you probably fall out in a disagreement and you're both too stubborn to sort it out. But generally, your long-time friends, it doesn't matter how long you don't see them for, you can always roll up whenever, and they always still will be the same. And I think that's it. And if you can face that reality and everybody knows where everybody stands in a friendship, then there's never going to be that awkwardness when you don't see them. Because I've not seen friends for years, and then I'll roll upon them because they still live in the same places 2, 3, 4 years later, and everything's still exactly the same. Just because we're not in each other's.
Is that a friendship or acquaintance, though? Is that just someone
they're my friends because they make up part of my past. You know what I mean? They share things with me that happened back when I was young. They share those things, which I can't share with new people, You know what I mean? Which new people I don't really make with because I don't mix with people as much as I used to when I was younger.
Then I would put it down to being old acquaintances then, because it's not the same.
No, acquaintances to me are people I've met once and that was it.
Well, that's what your friends are. If you're not seen for 3, 4 years.
Friends are people who have been in my life 10, 15 plus years, and we've actually grown together. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it. It's not about hanging in and being like feeling desperate to have friends.
No. I'm talking about, when you've got a friend and, you think they're your friends, but when you step back and you evaluate the friendship, you realise you're just there when they need you. But when you need them, they're not actually there. They'll find every excuse.
Yeah. You know what?
Those kind of sort of friendship. Why do you hang into friendships like that?
Because everybody's got their different personalities, and usually friends will pick you up and put you down when they've got new partners,
Yeah.
when they've got other things going on. You know what I mean? It's like that, and that's just life.
Yeah, they're either there for a reason or a season.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
To be honest with you, Travesty, I agree with that, because true friends will take a backseat when you get into a relationship.
You know what I mean? So, because it's awkward, and you've got to do what you got to do.
I'm talking about, say, two people have been friends, or you think you're friends, and they're always, one of them's always in some sort of upset, or something's always going on negative in their life, and they only come to you when those things are going on. When
You
they're
know what?
okay, they don't seem to remember you, but you're not realising that they're not real friends to you because they're not there when you need them.
But you know
You're
what?
on
Even though you're
them.
thinking,
Yeah.
even though you're thinking to them that you're not a real friend to me, they're obviously thinking you're a real friend to them, because they're choosing you to ring when they're at their neediest.
That is true. So
that's the
why
person that turns to.
yeah.
They think, oh my God, when I'm in need, who shall I ring? I'll ring Medea. You get me? Because that's the first person that comes to mind that will listen to me, give me some advice, probably. You know what I mean? And that's what they need and want, and you're that person. But to you, on the flip side, you're thinking, oh, this person just talks about themselves and this and that. It's always about them. It's always about them. Oh, that's how people are, aren't they? A lot of people.
Is it acceptable?
Is it acceptable?
Yeah. Do you think it's fair and acceptable?
It depends.
It's not fair.
Yeah, it's not fair. But that's how many people are.
Yeah.
When you listen to a lot of people speak about themselves a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you think,
ego.
You know what I mean? Yeah, egotistical. You know what I mean? But you don't realise it unless you stop and just listen to people speak.
Yeah.
And they're always going on and moaning about their life.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what true, I mean. Yeah. So some people you can take it from, and some people you just think, oh, forget this. You get me?
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it, actually.
Yeah, you could have remained in that friendship with that person and just remembered that when you are in need, who do you go to? Probably not her, somebody else. And then they're thinking, oh, you're not a brethren because you don't listen to me and you always come with your
maybe
moaning.
some people don't have anyone to go to when they're feeling.
You know what I mean? So you could be saving somebody and you don't even know it.
True.
By just listening to them, you don't know. You know what I mean? Everybody's in your life for a reason, and you do what you got to do, and then you'll merge out of their life until whenever. Then you find out they're dead. The end.
or not.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
So that's what I think that is, just for familiarity and the past, and you know what I mean, things that bind you together. What only you two can laugh about, because only you two know stuff like that. It's just, I don't know, nostalgic.
It's the way of life.
It is.
I was okay. So what do you think? Do we summarise that up enough? I think.
Yes, I think so.
Did you get your answer? Did you actually get your answer? Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I was just curious as to why, but I sort of understand from what Travis is saying. I do kind of understand that. Yeah, I do. I think I've sort of clicked it now.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah. It does. Does everybody understand that? Yeah. Good. Even the little one got it.
Yeah.
She's mumbling in agreement.
Actually, I've been discussing about this whole. Remember this? We spoke about last week about the paedophilia and that.
Yeah.
They should be given a real title. They should say it's actually an official sexual orientation.
Where was this? I didn't see where the origins were from this.
Oh, you did. I think was you in the show last week?
No,
she wasn't. She was late. Yeah, she couldn't get in.
Yeah, and I've been discussing with the wife, and I was like, yeah, but if they give it a sexual orientation, she's like, if they give it a sexual orientation, then we can speak about it. But I'm like, if you give them that, then you give people freedom to run around and be like, yeah, okay, it's official.
Yeah, I'm just doing this, honey. Yeah. Can't do that.
I don't know. The thing is, I don't know. Should it be? I don't know if we spoke about it last week, but should it be officially given a title?
It's called paedophilia.
No,
much like necrophilia, it's still not so good.
So is it? But the thing is, I don't know.
Or sexual predator.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
The children.
I don't know, man. I'm still like bugged out with it. To be fair, I'm like, nah, man. I think we should keep the subject where it is at the moment. Make sure we let people know it's not right, even if people admit to being it. And but don't act on it. You know, 'cause she's talking about these people who actually are pedophiles, but never act on it.
But that's the person you would respect because at least they're not acting on it.
Yes, but these guys also can't talk about being pedophiles and saying I'm actually attracted to young children. Well,
keep it to yourself.
That's what I say. Keep it to yourself. If you guys say anything nice.
What should you talk about it? Keep it to your bloody self, or go to a counsellor and talk to them about it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I don't see how talking about it or not talking about it, I don't see how that should be ascribed to a sexual preference. It should just be a matter of, can we have an open conversation in order to make sure we've got the right treatments in place for people?
That's
not
the
then
one.
Affiliating it with everything that's not the cultural norm, as in one man, one woman, and then they have 2.4 kids, because then it will just lead to more homophobic hate crimes, and it'll just be a whole world of a mess. Because it will be, oh, you're one of them, like everyone on the other side that's not in man and woman dynamic, then that will be, everyone will then face that discrimination, whereas someone that would identify themselves as gay or lesbian shouldn't be bunked into a box with someone that's committing sexual offences and grooming children.
Exactly. Disgusting.
I don't know where that concept came from.
To be honest, Dimples, I cannot believe they'd even contemplate making it legal. I cannot believe they actually want to talk about it. I really cannot believe it, because it should not even be entertained as becoming legal. I don't care what countries are doing it. You know,
I mean, I know it's legal,
but is it a matter of that whole decriminalisation of drugs, as in to take it away from the prison system and the overcrowding and the funding in order to just turn it to a treatment thing? Is that what they're saying? So not saying it's right, just saying we need to kind of move that money away from, like, just frittering it down the toilet in the prison system in order to make sure we address the problem.
Yeah.
Was it that? I didn't see the original.
I mean, it probably is that.
I've
put a video link of the TED Talk that my wife sent to me and told me I should watch it. And I was like, I'm not watching it because I don't agree with it, which makes me really ignorant. Which makes me in a way ignorant, because I should watch everything.
You're not ignorant, because at the end of the day, most people would feel the way you feel.
Yeah, I don't want it's easily triggered, because I always say that's the only way I go. I'd go to prison if that happened. I'd go to prison.
Yeah, exactly. Could you imagine, Dimples, someone of 35 comes to you and says, oh, can I go out with your son or your daughter? Wouldn't you be really peeved? Peeved wouldn't be the word.
No, we'd go to prison.
Exactly.
To be quite honest. But yeah, I feel like I would want to watch it. I can understand why you're saying you wouldn't, Alstalia, because it's triggering, but I would want to watch it just to see where did this concept come from and why are they saying this should be a thing. But also, like I say, I'm quite angered that they would then try and that just throws further hate towards the LGBT community. It's just it seems nonsensical to me, but I'd be intrigued to see who came up with this little bright idea.
I can guarantee some of the higher places. I can guarantee it's people in higher places. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Anything they want to move towards legalising or opening your mind to it, it's usually because the people in higher places are already doing it. So they want to enforce it into the world. That's exactly how they do it. That's why I've always said, with the Black Lives Matter, it won't go very far because not enough important people are in the higher places, if you get what I mean.
Actually, I disagree there.
Society's elite.
Black Lives Matter is about to change everything.
No, Alstalio, listen to what I said. It's not going to get very far. They will do little things here and there to make it look like things are being put in place. But if you really think Black Lives Matter is going to be equal to, say, what is it that the government likes to do that we wouldn't approve of? Think of something off the top of your head. It's not going to get to that level anyway. It's just not. They're not going to make black people ever become equal to them. It's not going to happen. So when you're thinking, it's not going to happen. You know why it's not going to happen?
Have to kill us.
Unfortunately, they will kill you off, number one. Number two, black people don't rule this world, so it's not going to happen.
We did once.
We did
Well,
once.
obviously you messed up somewhere.
Yeah, but
That's
the thing
why
is, the
you
power's
know
always
war.
shifting. The power's shifting
Yeah.
different races all the time.
No, think about it. If you did once, how long did you rule for, and why did it mess up?
I'll tell you where the power's going at the moment. It's going to Asia, I would say. It's going to China. I think China's about to take their dominance again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we'll have a little bit more of a fair run when they're there.
I don't think so.
I think so. I don't think they're as bad. Okay,
they don't even recognise us. What the hell are you talking about?
I think we'll have a fair run.
You stand more of a chance with the white man ruling you.
I don't know. Yeah, but the thing is, the ruling of the white man is jealous. Is all from jealousy, isn't it? It's jealous of the black man, but Asian people are not really jealous of us because we're not too much different people, are we? Really, in a way.
No. You're living in cuckoo land. They'll even think you're worse than anybody else. I would never be thinking they
Look how they was treating
you.
everybody during the COVID.
Yeah, as I said this a few videos, but genuinely, trust me, when they're nice. Wow, they are nice people, oh man. Trust me.
Do you think it's a generational thing? Because I've met some really cool, lovely Chinese people of like a younger age, but obviously I know about racism there.
I've been to their countries.
The older ones.
Yeah. No,
but in reality, wakey, at the moment, it's not young people ruling the world. You've got to wait till the young people are ruling it, then the change will come. While there are over 50s ruling this world, it ain't going to change much in your favour. You've got to wait until your generation is ruling the world, and then you'll see a significant change.
Isn't the Chinese ruler at the moment about 35? Hong Jong or whatever his name is.
But it depends. It depends.
Young?
So,
I think
but that's just one ruler. But that's one ruler out of many. Think about it. How many young people are ruling in the government? How many young people? Not many. You've got to wait until, as I say, your generation is the majority in the government. Then you'll see significant change. Because they're too. The people over 50 are too very narrow-minded still.
You know when you're going to see change? When Kanye takes the stand.
Yeah.
He's a young man, isn't he? He's a young man.
No, he's about my age.
Well, that's a young man.
Not a bit older.
You know what I mean when I say young. Did you hear what I said? Over 50s are still very narrow-minded.
Yeah, true.
Your generation's a bit more open-minded. Think about it. You know, so you'll see change then.
Yeah, true.
Okay, good. I think we've come to the end of the show because
we have.
I don't even want to imagine a world with Kanye at the helm.
Even though you look just like him.
Oh gosh. Do you know, I did want to raise one more thing actually.
Okay. Let me turn off the music. Wait, let me turn the music off now.
It's just the one simple bugbear. The one simple bugbear that I've had this week, because I haven't had it happen in ages, but obviously over the time and thinking about the protests and Black Lives Matter and yes, we need to come together and get in, everyone that's anti-racist, not just black people, black, white, everyone together. And then anytime I see a black person, where I am in the villages, barely any black people at all, and I'll see black people and it's smiling, it's like, hi. I saw this woman that literally dead-ass looked through me. How do we get unity when you still have people like that? And she was old as well.
Was she black or white?
I sound ageist. A black woman. Because anytime I see
what sort of, Dimples, what sort of age group was she?
I would say she was like probably mid to late 50s at least, a carer. And I always see their cars going around, and sometimes I've seen the man and smiled. But this woman looked through me. And it wasn't Dimples. Like you could think I was looking somewhere else. She knew I was looking at her.
That was Medea?
No. Shut up and let me get the point in. Was she with her man? Was she with her man?
It wasn't her man, like a work colleague, because the guy looks like he's maybe 30-ish or something, like work colleagues. They've all got the same uniform and I think it's on the car and whatnot. But yeah, she dead-ass looked through me. She looked like worse than God knows what. I can't even think. But even the bigoted racist people must smile at me. I was with the children, just like
it could have been, it's probably because
that explains it.
Your kids are misplacing it.
That will explain it,
It could be that they're like, some of these older like the older black generations, they don't appreciate that you would dip outside your race. You know, they don't just. It's sorry, unfortunately, it is like that. Like, you know, it is like that. You know, bad people question me or whatever.
But then that's just as bigoted as the other side of it.
Sure,
really?
it's just as bad. But we have to deal
So
with
how
it,
do we
guys.
get any unity with that? Like,
What did I say? Dimples, I've already answered that one earlier. I said,
It
when
won't happen.
the
It
younger
won't
people,
happen.
the
It won't
younger
happen.
generation start to take over, you will see the change.
Yeah.
We've got to get rid of the people who are 50 and above
grown
now.
up, as long as
No.
they weren't grown up to
Mom.
be racist.
Yeah? What?
I said, as long as they weren't grown up to be racist, you'll see the difference.
Yeah, wow.
You know,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
So next time I see him, I'll just say, I'm waiting for you to die.
No.
Have a good day.
I can't, at the end of the day, it does disappoint me. Let me finish on saying this. It does disappoint me because I'm an over 50. I'm on the wrong side of 50. And it does disappoint me when I see people of my generation still having that bad-minded, ignorant thinking. They've not improved they've not grown mentally, they haven't grown emotionally, they're still very rigid in their thinking. And I'm thinking, I don't understand where you are coming from, because I've grown. No one was more pro-black than me when I was younger. No one was, but I've grown and I've looked outside the box and I've seen things from a different angle. So I don't understand why they still have that bigoted mentality. I'll never understand it. I could never look at my mixed race children and not love them. I could never do that. I've got all mine around me. Unfortunately, I can't see my beautiful ones in Germany as much as I'd like to. You know, but I love my grandchildren, and most of them are mixed race. You know, so I don't get it. I don't get it personally. I don't.
Well, you put a better
them.
slant on it for the over 50s. Thank you, Medea.
You're welcome, darling. I love them. I'm just loving them. And if you ask my children, they would tell you no one was against kids more than me. But yet, I have to admit now, I absolutely adore my grandchildren.
I've got tears in my eyes, man.
Me too. Well, I do.
Love
People
is
say
love.
I absolutely
Love is
adore
love.
them. Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Now, I think on that beautiful, positive note, we'll end the show. Let's go around the table, of course. We'll start with Medea today. Medea's always
Just everyone stay safe. Get your masks ready and just live.
Erica?
Enjoy life. One thing I've learned this week from trying to get back into the job hunting world is have confidence and faith in yourself, because you never know where it might take you.
True.
And Travesty, last but not least, of course.
Yeah, I just reinforce what Medea said. Don't forget your masks. Be safe.
Yeah.
And listen out for next week.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, guys. Just keep listening to the podcasts. Family Affair, Living in Germany is next, and Blackopolypse. See you later, guys.
Stay blessed. Bye.
Bye, 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 bye.
Everything that we've been through, all of the hard times and the good. Sometimes we never thought we would make it, but we battled on and on for our love, falling down and raising up as we should. We have